Beto.
Sure.
Beto Carlos.
Before you just talk about show, I just wanted to say Arsenal could never.
What?
Arsenal could never. Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Football Agenda today. I'm actually really excited to be recording again. Jeez, it's been a minute. Especially like with all the football that has been going on, it's been absolutely crazy. And I'm actually really excited to hear Zuko's takes because his team is in the final. He told us in the beginning, I have to say, Zuko, you were right.
What did I say, guys?
No chance. But in this video, what we're going to be covering is a roundup of the Euros. Looking at the momish of the Euros, basically Pogba and Co falling out. We're going to do a little bit of a roundup of the semis, and then we can get into some of the transfer news, etc., etc. But I'm Adelie Williams, one of your co-hosts, and I'm not alone.
I'm Zuko. Cool. Also a co-host. We're out here.
Dude, like I think before we get into the topics, man, like your first reaction, because your team is in the final, you told us. Nobody believed. I even went to go and check in the comments below on our first video when we gave the predictions. People were like, "You're being ridiculous." They bought into my nonsense.
Forza Italia. What did I say, guys? Hey, guys. I saw them in the group stages. I'm like, this is the most informed team out of all the other teams. The other teams were stuttering 1-0, 2-0. Italy only started in the first half of their first game.
Okay, listen, boss. Listen. Let's not do that. I gave you props that you guys made the final, right? But let's not act as if you guys were playing football that was jumping off our screen.
No. In terms of international football, Italy was blowing it out of the water. I remember. I think even people, if they watch the previous video on the Euros, they'll realize that I mentioned things that Italy were doing that they still do and have worked for them so well so far. That's why I'm like, when I look at Italy, I'm like, this team, the way it's set up, the team, this team is great.
The pride with which you speak. Although I must say, we'll definitely get to your Euros and the semis and all of that. But the one thing for me, right, that was an absolute goosebumps moment is whenever Italy's defenders block a goal, the way they celebrate those goals, the defensive efforts is probably crazy, man.
Bonucci and Chiellini, there was a quote. Chiellini said a very important quote this week. He said, I know Bonucci more than I know my wife. And I was like, my brother,
but to be fair, those two come a long way. Those two
you cannot celebrate.
Okay, but before we get hectically into your team doing really well, although my silent favorites that I said on the first episode, when I did say I always support them and they get to the final, but we'll get to that. Before we get into the guys that actually made it, can we just talk about France, please? Like, I am literally getting like heart palpitations.
You know what? I think France imploded. They imploded in that game because
it was so painful.
Yeah, it was because they were the favorites, bro. Betting odds, everything, the talent, everything. Like they were supposed to win it. But France, I don't know, like they crumbled. And it was so weird because they crumbled against a team you wouldn't expect them to crumble against. Like not one.
Where the problem comes in for me, right, is they played well, right? Although it was shaky, Denmark was always in the game, to be honest. They were really always in the game. France always played with that swag that they have. Do you know what I mean? That swag where you kind of feel like they're going to pull it out somehow. We don't know how, but they're going to make it happen somehow. And then Pogba scored that worthy. And for me so far, I think goal of the tournament.
Easy. And we've seen some great goals in this tournament, man. But that one, because the thing is, it's hectic and looked at it. Goodness gracious.
The problem was, that goal was so well covered. Right?
Yeah.
The camera angles that they had for that goal was insane. You could literally see the keeper stood no chance anywhere near them.
I looked at that goal on repeat, and I was like, he had no right.
No, 100%.
No right. That goal was not supposed to be that practice.
if only he can do that for United more often.
No. We don't want that. No. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. Please stop that.
Obviously, listen, we are talking about the goal of the season.
Yeah.
In the same game that they were knocked out. So obviously there's something that didn't go too well.
I think let's break that down, because I think I noticed a few things with France, right? I noticed a few things with France, and for me, it wasn't just like a fumble at one end of the pitch. It was an overall fumble, right? Let's start at the back. Kimpembe and Varane, right? I don't know what was going on with Kimpembe.
Kimpembe and Varane were top of my list.
Worst. I don't know that. I think that was the worst game for France they played together. Right now, the issue with both of them is that to get it like individually when they're in other teams, they need someone who has a lot of focus in the game because they lose focus individually. Right, Varane next to Sergio Ramos. Kimpembe next to Marquinhos.
Perfect.
Them together, my goodness. And the thing is, France have looked that shaky since the beginning of the tournament for me. Like genuinely, like specifically at the back, but it's really been papered over because the midfield has been good. It has great players that can do great things, right?
Yeah.
And in the front, I mean, they brought back Benzema, and then they've got Mbappe who can do a lot of great things. Although that's also another guy I feel like is probably one of the letdowns of the tournament. Now, starting from the back, we go into midfield. Rabiot, that man must not start for France again. Pogba, Kante.
But we know that before you continue, we know that Rabiot was not always in the first plans.
Yes. He wasn't.
Obviously, there were injuries, etc. But come on.
The main guy, now his name slipped my mind, but now he's playing for, I think, Inter Miami FC in USA.
Yeah. The guy who got into the first game.
Yeah.
The second game.
Yeah, so they couldn't bring him back into the fold and stuff, right? Now, the issue with Rabiot and playing alongside Pogba and Kante is that between Pogba and Kante, there's synergy. Kante covers the things that Pogba cannot do, right? Pogba is a great player, great box-to-box, but Kante is like two people in one.
Different world.
Straight up. So Kante covers a lot of Pogba's frailties, right? And that's, that's the main cry with Man United fans and Pogba also. They'd be like, Fred should be at least be that type of player, right? He should be covering those frailties. I mean, let's be honest, when you're a great player, when you're a great midfielder, striker, defender, you're allowed to have certain frailties. People don't complain about the amount of defending because
some other things.
Exactly. So the thing is, my issue with Rabiot didn't really bring anything into that midfield that wasn't done. In fact, I think Griezmann was a better central midfielder. Remember that tackle? I think you spoke about it last time. That tackle that Griezmann made.
So, okay, there was that tackle from Griezmann. We were all happy about. But Griezmann is also on my list of kind of win. This whole tournament, honestly speaking.
Chip, you know what? I'm actually thinking we need to start a fraud watch list. We need to start a fraud watch list of players. A lot of players are still living off of their hype they had 4 to 5 years ago. And you're like, you haven't been that player for a while. Exhibit A, Hazard. Right? Hazard is Exhibit A for me always. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, like I think for me the big disappointment was just if you look at France's front three, right? You have Mbappe, you have Benzema, and you have Griezmann. Realistically speaking, I don't think there's anybody who can look at Benzema and go, "You did not bring what you needed to bring to the table."
100%.
Honestly, I had my reservations, and he literally showed me, "Listen, I still got it."
Yeah.
And then I kind of went, okay. Mbappe isn't really performing. We have some other options on the bench, but Mbappe is not performing. But as soon as you take Mbappe off, defenders feel a little bit more relaxed. Because as long as Mbappe is on the field, defenders are on edge. Like at any point in time, anything can happen.
And that's the dope thing about Mbappe, right? He stretches the field. And I feel like they knew, like France knew that, hence they kept him in. Because there were times where Pogba used to just like hit the ball over. Even if it was
the corner, you know he's there.
No, he's just there.
But you see now for me, and that's kind of where I go, okay, if we forgive Mbappe for what he brings to the game, right?
Yeah.
From a broader perspective, then we have to ask the question, what did Griezmann bring to the game? France played teams where they didn't have to defend too hectically. Let's be honest, there was not really much defending. France had the ball in most of the games. France had the bulk of the ball, which is perfect for how they play. But why is it that Griezmann was
why I'll forgive Griezmann? Nah. Besides his performance in the group stages where he was doing a lot, I feel like Griezmann was almost compensating. I wouldn't say overcompensating. He was compensating for the lack of an impact that Rabiot was having. Because let's look at how deep Griezmann was coming to get the ball. Right?
Wait. Before you even get to saying how deep he has to come to get the ball, right? Let's be honest. Rabiot started the last game. Before that, he didn't start. The game after that, he came on because of an injury. Do you know what I mean? So Rabiot was not always the main man. But this whole tournament so far, we saw one tackle from Griezmann that had us going, geez, that's old school tackling. We missed that. Other than that, what did you see from Griezmann?
But then we have to put Griezmann in the same conversation as Mbappe, right? And it's hard for me, because as a striker, if you're a striker for me, right, the first thing you get judged on is goals. I don't care how many times you held up the ball, you'll be remembered because of goals, right? Yeah. Now, Mbappe, yes, he didn't score. I actually don't even think he scored this tournament, right? But he stretches the midfield, the defense.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He brings something to the table.
Griezmann is the same thing, right? Because what Griezmann does is he pulls in whoever's marking him, giving room or space for overlaps and these kind of things.
That in and of itself is not a thing, dude. We're at the Euros. Everybody at the Euros, right?
But by that barometer, then we also have to judge Mbappe. We can't just.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Okay. Very simply put. If we just have to look at the games that were played by France, right? Like I'm trying to simplify this thing as much as possible. If we just have to look at the games played by France, between Mbappe and Griezmann, who caused defenses more problems? Does not matter how shit they were. Who caused defenses more problems between the two of them in the games that you watched?
I will come at you with this. It's an unfair question.
Why?
Mbappe is a generational talent with incredible speed.
Dude,
no.
I'm not asking for Griezmann.
But I'm just saying, let's be fair. Let's be fair in that, because now we're looking at two different players and what they bring to the team, and we're saying let's judge them the same way. We can't really do that.
So where I was going with this conversation was, right, and like literally, I'm not necessarily blaming Griezmann. I'm blaming the coach more than Griezmann. So what I'm saying is, I understand why we left Mbappe on the pitch. He's opening space for other people.
100%, yeah.
Griezmann does not do the same thing. Because realistically speaking, Griezmann keeps drifting inside. And the reason that you nearly said that he was compensating for Rabiot was because he was playing in the middle half the time.
Yeah.
So if he's not stretching the play, then surely there are other players on the bench that can do a job.
Griezmann at center forward, right behind Benzema. Exquisite. Now, I hear you. If you want players, who's this guy? Coleman, right? Is it Coleman? Yes.
Exactly. Kingsley Coleman.
Yes, Kingsley Coleman. Bring him in. he brings something different to the team, right? His job is to hug the sideline, right? But clearly, like Griezmann was there to do more than just like hugging the sideline or stretching the defense like that, right? He was in to also grab the ball and drive with it, which he did quite a few times. Quite a few of those passes.
I'm saying France didn't need that. France didn't need another body in the middle driving the ball. Honestly speaking, this is why this is literally the perfect segue to what I was about to say. I feel like France gave Denmark too much respect. Like way too much respect in the way that they picked the team. You don't have to have so many players sitting against Denmark. You really don't. England showed us yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't have to have although I absolutely love that they played with the two holdings against them. I felt it was a waste when Rice went off. Amazing. Or all of a sudden you started seeing England actually moving forward. There's another player in the box who can move the ball. Come on. You don't need two holding midfielders against Denmark.
I think the difference with England's holding midfielders, for instance, two of them, and France's two holding midfielders, is that France with Kante, they will run up. They will run up. You don't see that much with maybe Calvin Phillips here for England. You saw that, but Declan Rice, he was not there for that, right? So I think for me, that's why I then found like a player like Griezmann very necessary, because for me, what Griezmann does is he almost plays a shadow striker right behind Benzema. Benzema can bring in players into the game, right? But a lot of the time when Griezmann plays for France, a lot of his goals, majority, have been right outside of the box, right? He usually smacks them in from right outside of the box, and that's where you really want Griezmann at, right? Doesn't matter whether he wears like a number 9 or whatever.
We didn't see any of that this tournament, my brother. You're talking about smashing the ball. We saw nothing from Griezmann.
He was disappointing, I understand, but all I'm saying is, for me, it's I think with that France team, right? I know we're talking about on the field stuff, but I think also off the field, that France team is like an enemy in and itself. Because if you heard the reports afterwards, bro, like Pogba's mom was arguing with Rabiot's dad, and Mbappe's mom was. I was like, dog, is this even necessary?
It became a parent-child meeting.
Like, bro, and this was literally right after the game when they were arguing. I'm like, this in itself is, and I saw the cracks when Giroud was complaining that Mbappe doesn't pass to him, and I was like, Deschamps doesn't really control or doesn't really have a handle on this dressing room, right? He doesn't have a handle because everyone's doing whatever they want and they're not really towing the line.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily want us to sit too long on this. Like, for me, I think the big thing was just for me it was sorry, man. I think for me it was actually really disappointing, just in the manner that they went out. You literally see this guy getting deflated. And honestly speaking, if I have to be very honest, just based off Mbappe's performances the whole tournament so far, as soon as he stepped up, we knew. As soon as he stepped up,
the body language,
confidence, it was just not there. While Denmark, on the other hand, and exactly like yesterday's game, right? Denmark, on the other hand, you give them a spark, they will hold on to that spark at the end of the game.
Right? I wouldn't lie to you, as right now we're last question before we move on, maybe to like the last rounds. Do you think France lack leadership in the team, and maybe that's why they couldn't muster up enough, or they couldn't hold it together in order to cross the line?
I don't think they lack leadership. Like, honestly speaking, if you look at some of the players, isn't part of the reason that they brought Benz back? If you look at at the back, honestly speaking, Hugo Lloris, they have some big profile players. I think their problem might be the opposite, actually. They might have too many players who believe they're all leaders.
Okay, true, fair enough. But now,
so, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, nobody wants to necessarily. Honestly, man, these guys are all such professionals, and if you look at them in the teams that they play, you can't even say that because all of them come from such started teams. Nobody's a superstar in their own right. for the team that they play.
Well, PSG, you might argue Mbappe is, the guy.
There's Neymar there, though.
Yeah.
There's Neymar.
But they've
they have
like a brother. Brothers, Sergio Ramos also.
What's the centre back's name at PSG again?
Marquinhos.
Marquinhos, etc. Yeah. There's definitely some.
Yeah.
Might well be.
But I will say though, Ed, in terms of just like looking at the entire like Euros final rounds, I was genuinely impressed with Denmark. Hey? Like, and even against France, specifically against England, what I realized with Denmark, it's not like individual players that stood out. Although their defender Vestergaard, who's like 6'9", really stood out for me. No, that man's a giant. I mean, it made no sense.
Even Michael.
Yeah.
Was doing really well.
Oh my goodness, bro. And my thing with Denmark, my thing with Denmark is that for me, Denmark, for instance, against the England match, they didn't have the ball for a long time. But when they went forward, it was with intent. They knew what
it looked like they were trying to do something.
Exactly. And that's what you need in a team that wasn't really favored, right?
Okay, but let's be honest. Like honestly, when I looked at the Denmark team yesterday, and like I don't know, maybe oversight or whatnot, but when you look at the Denmark team, honestly speaking, Højbjerg in holding, they have Vestergaard, they have what's his name, Schmeichel. There's like not necessarily the top names, but they're hard workers in all of the individual teams.
100%
part of that team.
100%. And I mean that's what you want, right? So I was reading up on Denmark, and so Denmark has also had a huge shift in focus in terms of the football national team as right. So they also went through a transformation process because I think they also had a question of why aren't we making it to like the last 8 or whatever, right? So they had a bit of so they kind of looked at their football same way that Italy did. Kind of looked at their football at a national team level and say, this type of football that we're playing doesn't suit the type of players that we have or that are coming through the pipeline, right? And then they said, okay, cool, let's switch up how we play. Let's play a more attractive brand of football that isn't just about because look, as much as we might love the Euros, generally international football is not the greatest watch when it comes to like friends.
100%.
Yeah,
the result.
Exactly. So there's a lot more balls into the box, a lot more headers and stuff. But if you notice in this tournament, there's been a lot more goals from just football moving around. Exactly. And that's the same thing with Denmark, is that they were like, let's play football that will make sense for these type of players. And those players you named, rightfully so, are the type of players that actually play like that, even in their own teams, like their own clubs. Exactly. And for me, that's why I was like, and Denmark is such a fairy tale story. They lost their 2 opening games. The first game, Christian Eriksen out, and then afterwards, they I was definitely friends of Denmark, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. But do you know when I knew that they weren't going to
win? Where?
When Schmeichel had to try and be Mr. Funny Guy. He was a stand-up comedian. He was asked about it coming home, and then he asked, has it ever been home?
Hey!
There's no need for us to be taunting each other like that, man. Come on. You know what we mean, man.
You know what, Ed? Because I just saw an Italy flag that says like it's not coming home, it's coming to Rome and stuff.
That's really cool. But like I think this is actually a really nice segue for us to just quickly do a recap on the 2 semi-finals that happened.
Yes.
And we have already talked extensively about Denmark, and we were kind of joking just now about it coming home. But for me, England, my dude, honestly speaking, I think why England for me wasn't really one of the top teams to consider is England notoriously fumble a bag. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter how good that squad looks.
Yeah.
You know how to fumble a bag. But yesterday, what I saw was a team that was willing to grind it out, my friend. At no point after they considered did they look like they were panicking. Harry King was telling niggas, sorry, beep. Harry King was telling people they must be focused. We can win this thing. Let's go. But honestly, when they scored, I thought, here comes the thing.
Yeah, you know what? With England, I've been looking at them at the past few games, and I haven't always been convinced, right? Now, and it's maybe because of Southgate, because I'm like, this man is not the manager for this team.
It's not the coach. It's not the coach. No,
at all. So I looked at him, I'm like, but Southgate too has proved me wrong to a large extent. And the reason why is because
let me just really ask you a question before you continue. What was his biggest test in this tournament so far? A limping German team, a Denmark team that technically is outperforming the expectation.
You know why I rank Southgate, man? Not highly, but why I rank him is because Southgate.
What do you mean not highly?
No, I don't rate that man highly. No, let it not be mistaken. I rank him because Southgate knows the team that he has, and he knows the pressure around some of the stars that he has, right? For instance, the game against Denmark. In the previous game, the quarterfinals, Sancho didn't play bad. But Southgate was like, let me bring back Saka, because he knows what Saka brings from a defensive and an offensive standpoint. Sancho is not necessarily the strongest from a defensive standpoint, but in a semi-final, you need someone who's also going to track back, right? He was willing Southgate was willing to take that critique of possibly Saka not working out. But Southgate knew that the trump card will always Grealish, because that happened in the quarterfinals. He takes out Saka, he puts in Grealish because he knows Grealish is almost what the box had, the bomb squad, right? They had the bomb squad. England has Grealish because Grealish comes in and he switches things up. And that's what you need.
Just to add a comment on that one, like honestly speaking, I mean, it was one of my points. It's actually really nice that you also picked it up. Is England's bench. I don't think I've ever seen as strong an England squad as I have now. Because I was upset at the fact that he brought on Grealish, because obviously I'm a United fan, absolutely want Rashford to come on and just light the screens up, which I know he can.
Yeah.
But this English squad right now, right, he has a key for every lock.
Yeah.
If you need a little nimble, quick, get in there. Foden was on the bench waiting. And Foden was lighting it up the whole season.
Isn't that crazy? Foden's on the bench.
It's madness. I was literally looking at the bench and
wow. I just think England and that you also have to applaud Southgate for, because he could have easily crumbled under the pressure of playing players that the fans yeah. Because a lot of people would be like, why are you starting Mount instead of Grealish, right? Why are you starting Saka instead of Sancho? Sancho had like one of his best seasons in the Bundesliga.
100%.
Excuse me. Why not start him? Or starting Rashford, right? He provides a more of an attacking threat.
100%.
Then you look at Saka in the past two games. Both goals have literally from his side and from him cutting in and stuff. So
look, honestly speaking, I myself have not personally watched enough of Sancho, right, for me to make a call over him or Saka. But I've seen enough of Saka and him pretty much for some games putting Arsenal on his shoulders to know that he can do the job. For Sancho, I generally hear some stuff and then like see clips and stuff. But like Saka, I've definitely seen.
Remember the beginning of lockdown when football was like there was no football playing, and then the Bundesliga was the first big league to start back up, and everyone was watching the Bundesliga for a while. That's where I think I appreciated Sancho a bit more, because I saw him in those And him playing alongside Haaland, and I was like, this is a player. This is a player. Like there's no hype in terms of how he plays and first pace and all those kind of things. But now I definitely think Saka offers more from also a defensive standpoint.
No, 100%.
Before we continue, my player, and I, as much as I hate it because he's a Man United player. So Beto Carlos.
Before you just talk about Shaw, I just wanted to say Arsenal could never engineer a goal in the Euros like our boys Shaw and Slabhead Maguire. Come on, dude. Shaw was doing the things, bro.
So Berto, top 3 right now, left backs in the world. I don't see a player at left back that's playing better. And mind you, I hold Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson high up there. So Berto.
No, I understand.
Oh my goodness.
Even the ball that he gave for Kane. Kane's header was like literally one of the easiest things I've ever seen in my life. That ball was put here.
And then
lastly, I think the one guy that I also just wanted to touch on before we move on to the Italy, just a quick recap of the Italy game, what do you think worked? Calvin Phillips. Oh my goodness.
He deserves to be at a bigger team, but he just came out and said he's not leaving.
Can I just quickly tell you, when you talk about Southgate and being a coach, making a call like that, putting in that kid, putting him in such a big game, trusting him. Come on, man. That kid, literally for me, I went, wow.
Yeah.
No, absolutely amazing.
That's a great call from him. I think with Kevin Phillips, because Southgate could have been pressured into starting Henderson. Henderson's
100%.
Henderson's like a player that you look at Liverpool and you're like, when this guy's not
this guy,
Liverpool kinda,
pulling them forward.
Yeah, exactly. But when you look at Kevin Phillips, first of all, the energy, he doesn't stop running, and that's really what you want.
The guy's just get everywhere, dude.
That's what you want in your midfielder, especially your box-to-box midfielder. I think he's a great talent, and under Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds, definitely
100%.
getting head coach.
So let's go on to your boys. Obviously, we started out by celebrating the fact that you got in because I had to apologize to you for ridiculing your chances. But if there's one thing that I must say that I've learned about Italy or from Italy is champions find a way.
Yeah.
They can play the ugliest thing and then a spark, boom, they've put you to bed. Because as soon as they scored that one goal, let's go home, go to bed.
Yeah. Because you know what? The thing is with Italy for a long time is there's been an issue with how they attack, right? We know that Italy can close down a match. Defensively, the issue that has come in for so long is that they, in terms of like attack and stuff, they haven't really been, I would say not prolific, but they haven't been imaginative, right? Now, with players like Lorenzo Insigne and, Verratti providing the passes and, all those type of players, they can pull the strings. Jorginho too, they pull the. But now in the match against Italy, against Spain, that's when I saw Italy as like champions for me, because I'm like, Italy played in a game where they barely had possession. They did not have possession at all. But they still grinded out a victory. Yes, it was via penalties and stuff, but they still grinded out a penalty and a win. And that for me, like a win is a win. Doesn't matter if it's via penalties. A win is a win.
Yeah, 100%.
Very impressed with Italy also. Like, I mean, genuinely. I think also another team that I really hate to provide praise for is Spain. But I've come to respect Spain after their games. And hey, you know what?
Listen, my guy. Can I just quickly tell you? No. Me praising Italy, right? Let's not get this thing messed up. Let's not get it absolutely messed up. Me praising Italy in no way, shape, or form says that I think Italy is gonna win this thing. I'm saying.
I'm glad you said that, because every time you said Italy, I'm not gonna do something they did. it. They literally did everything you said they're not gonna do. I'm here for it.
Look, like I'm saying, like the reason that you're praising Spain is because of their performance against Italy.
Yeah, even
I'm saying both teams performed well below the standard that I think has been set.
By who?
So why I say this?
Because let's not act like England has been playing incredible football. Let's not come on here and speak on lies. Let's not act like England has been speak. Let's not act like England has been playing great football.
No, look, I think the one thing that Spain was lacking to put Italy to bed is the thing that England have.
That's true. Great.
Like England are coming off a base of confidence. Like honestly speaking, England is coming off a high. England right now is not panicking when they go behind, which is most important when you're playing against an Italy team who can literally shut you out if they go first.
Yeah.
Then we have Kane, who's starting to look like Kane again.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
What's their names? Spain don't really have proper forwards.
But
can put it to bed.
But let's look at Spain and what they've done, right? So the thing is with Spain have probably created the most chances out of all teams in these late stages, right? Spain kept the ball. The only critique, and it's been a continuing critique with Spain, is post Fernando Torres, David Villa. They don't really have a striker. Like Morata is not like they're so.
Everybody knows this about Spain now. Everybody knows this. That's why we allow them to have the ball.
I get it. Yes, most teams allow them to get the ball, but let's not act like them getting the ball won't hurt teams. Because if you look at Italy at the end of that match, Italy players were falling down because they couldn't you can only chase the ball in a match for so long. Busquets was just like,
I love what you are saying because you have just made my argument for why I think England's gonna win the.
No, Eds. Let's not get it mixed up. Let's not get it mixed up. England were playing a from a talent perspective a less superior team in Denmark.
Denmark would have put Spain to bed. What are you talking about?
No,
they would have put Spain to bed.
They wouldn't even have gotten the ball. They were, at least yesterday, Denmark had moments where they actually got the ball. Against Spain, they would have gotten the ball. Even Italy struggled to get on the ball. Jorginho had one of the best midfield seasons as a midfielder this year in club football. As a midfielder, come on, ads. Don't play with
me. You're giving me a headache. Now you're gonna sound like this. Listen to this one. Yesterday, the Chelsea supporters. If Spain win, then surely Aspilicueta needs to be a Ballon d'Or nominee.
What? No. Let's be fair. No.
Now that Jorginho has won, he needs to be a nominee. I said, listen.
No. Let's look at Jorginho's season. I'm saying that Jorginho had one of the best in Europe this season as a midfielder, one of the best seasons, right? His best season also.
In terms of what? The things that he has won or his contribution on the field?
Contribution on the field. I'm not even looking at Champions League. I'm not even looking at Champions League. No. In terms of what he's won, the Champions League.
A million times what Jorginho has done. We can't even talk about that.
But that's the whole point. But that's the whole point. Why do people look at midfielders and they're like, if you don't score goals or if you don't assist, then you're not doing what you need to be doing and balling out in the midfield?
Just one question. When Jorginho came to Chelsea, what was the thing that everybody was looking forward to most? Was it not the fact that he's finally a playmaker who's going to come assist everything for everybody?
No, but let's not act like players don't change. Let's not one bit act like players don't change. Let's look at literally Andrea Pirlo.
All I'm saying is, when you are saying that he's had one of the best seasons as a midfielder in Europe, I'm asking you to tell me on what grounds. what numbers have you seen that made you say that this guy? Because I have seen numbers for the best midfielders in Europe, and Jorginho for me.
The thing is, right? A lot of people, when you look at midfielders, and for me, I think it was highlighted very much by when Kevin De Bruyne was negotiating his contract with Man City. I know this is a bit of a digression, right?
No, I totally understand.
Yeah, when he was negotiating with contract with Man City, right, and he was using analytics to show what he was doing, the level of impact that he had off the ball with his movement and his passing and the amount of progressive passes, the amount of forward passes that he was, and the level of link up play, right? that's when I was like, well, it wasn't the first time, but that's when I was like, you literally cannot judge a player by his assist or the amount of times he scores goals. Fine. The second level where you can judge him on is his level of ball progression, right? Especially in terms of what he does.
I'm perfectly fine with that. All I'm saying is, right, we can't just say because he's been in teams that have progressed very far, he's one of the best midfielders. That's why I'm asking, what is it that you saw that made you think that he's having one of the best seasons of all midfielders in Europe? That's all I'm asking.
It's him. Hey, the thing is, it's not one moment, but it's him with Chelsea throughout the English Premier League, especially the second half.
I'm with you. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, so that I don't argue a point that I'm not understanding. I'm going, what measure are we using for one of the best midfielders in Europe?
But that's my thing. That's my thing, man. We can't look at, and because the thing is, what you say now is you're almost looking at a midfielder as one archetype.
I'm not talking about goals. I'm not talking. Even if you said Kante was better, like then it's like kind of his chances blocked, etc., etc. All I'm saying is, for me, Jorginho, I've not seen him in any conversations, whether it's creating chances, whether it's blocking chances. I've just not seen him in those conversations for the best.
But that's the issue. That's the issue right there. Is I think you have to watch Jorginho play in order to actually say that. That's the issue. I think if you don't watch him play and you don't watch how he operates, because people could easily have the same conversation around Marco Verratti, right? You haven't watched Verratti play, you might be like, what does he like? I haven't heard him in conversations around being one of the best midfielders in Europe, right? But then you look at how Roberto Mancini literally pushed aside Emmanuel Locatelli in order to shove in Verratti, and then you look at how Italy plays when Verratti is on the field. Then you're like, I get it, right? In a system that is suited for them, right? These players do very well, right? Jorginho is great at being a deep-lying playmaker, right? He sits on the edge, great playmaker. Verratti, box to box. This man's going to do everything for you, right? And looking at that, we've never really had the last like deep-lying Trequartista, the last deep-lying playmaker that we really were in awe in was Andrea Pirlo, where we're like, damn, bruh. And that's only because he sort of invented the role, right? He sort of invented that deep-lying playmaker. That was not a N'Golo Kante, but that was also not a box-to-box. But when that player's on the field, right, passes are moving, the ball is going through him.
Look, I get that. Like, I totally get what you're saying. What I'm saying is, like, I absolutely appreciate where you're coming from for how good a season he's been having, in the systems that he's been playing, in the teams that he's been playing. Man United had one of those for years and years and years in Carrick. I totally know what you mean.
Carrick! Barrera, please, carry on with your other points. Please don't bring up Carrick. You might as well bring up Jared Fletcher at this point.
Dude,
Carrick!
Honestly speaking, right?
I
generally know when I say things that are gonna trigger you, right?
Carrick!
But Carrick, surely.
Carrick! Come on, man. Carrick!
You're hurting my soul. Okay, listen. Anyway. No.
Yeah.
It's fine. On this note, listen, I don't know. I will go and put a montage together for you, my brother. I'll put a montage together. We'll watch it together in our next video. Just so that actually, no. Don't argue. Don't argue. Let me just go and put my montage together. Carrick was, in fact, we're not even talking about Carrick right now. It's fine. I think we've talked quite significantly on Denmark and England. We've talked about Italy. We've even talked about Spain quite more than we should have, because Spain should have been out of this tournament a while back. Let's go.
Yeah.
The final. Let's just have a go. You and I absolutely suck at predictions for the most part, but your team is in the final, realistically speaking.
You know what, Ed? I actually looked at some of the predictions we had. Some of them were like they were bad, like off the mark. But some we got really right.
On point.
Yeah, on point. So if anyone,
the one that I knew, the one that I knew was how England was gonna beat Germany.
Yeah. Now Germany was
not even the score, just the way that game unfolded. Yeah. Honestly speaking, I know Germany needs to go back to the drawing board. But the final, my guy, the final.
We don't say anymore. Italy 2-1. Italy.
No, look. There's no doubt that you were gonna say Italy, and there's no doubt that I'm gonna say England. I'm asking you for a score.
No, 2-1. I said a score.
And how does it play out in your mind?
In my mind,
you guys sit back the whole time and hit England 2 counter-attacks, or
no. Look at how Italy has played throughout the tournament. Don't look at how Italy played against Spain, right? Against Spain, a few teams can keep the ball or get to the ball against Spain. Against other teams, Italy was dominating position. Literally, stats-wise, they were dominating position, right? So I think it's going to be a tough game in terms of, it's going to be counterpunch type of situation. In my mind, whoever scores first shouldn't be too happy, right? And I think based off of momentum and all those kind of things, I think England might score first, right? And that's based just off of the talent they've got, right? But I think Italy will come in. Italy will pull up, and then the enigma that is Ciro Immobile might score. I know Lorenzo Insigne will score. Ciro Immobile might score. He's an enigma. I don't know
when you keep telling me about Immobile. We started this channel talking about Immobile.
Yeah.
Now we are talking about yes. Can you guys put in the comment section below? Just let us know what you guys think about Immobile. What do you guys think about this guy's ridiculous predictions about Italy winning the whole thing? They've done really well. So take my hat off.
My thing is, you've been proved wrong at every turn by Italy.
We started this episode by me taking off my hat and saying, "You've proved me wrong, but enough."
No.
Let's pick it up now. Let's pick it up. Let's send it back to Rome. Pick it up now, please.
No. The trophy is going back to Rome.
Home already. The final is there.
The trophy is definitely going back. I literally have no doubt in me that the trophy is going back to Rome. I have zero doubts.
Can I just please ask you one thing? And like before we move on to the next segment, like now we know that you think Italy is gonna win. I think that England's gonna win 3-1. I don't think it's gonna be close. Let me finish. I don't think it's gonna be close. I think England's gonna score once. They're gonna realize, wait, why are we scared of these guys? And they're gonna literally thump them properly. I think Italy will put up a fight. Maybe the first half they'll still be holding on, but second half, honestly speaking, Southgate extra time yesterday, right, had 3 subs, and you look at that bench and you go, who do you want to come finish off this game? Italy, I don't see it. I see Italy's starting lineup, right? But as soon as those guys start running around with Sterling for a little bit, start running around with Saka for a little bit, and I do think he'll start Saka this game also. I don't think that he's going to start. I think he will start Saka for the work rate that he has again. And I really think that we'll win 3-1. I think it might go 2-1. So England to score 2 goals, and Italy to score 1, and then England to finish it off.
In fact, people must
before extra time.
Who they think is gonna win that Euro final, because I don't
see England. Let us know in the comment section. guys, it's really important so that we have these things on record, so that when I can make a mockery of Zuko on the next call, I'm literally gonna come here. Yo, dude, did you see that 3 lions picture? Please, please, please. The one that was shared in the group.
No,
the timer with the 3 lions, man.
A what? A what?
The timer with the 3 lions. I'll send it to you.
Please
He's
do.
in the pub and he has those lions chocolates.
Ah.
So it says lion. We'll definitely put insert that little image here so that people can see the 3 lions, dude. That guy is my spirit animal.
Generally, do not. I don't understand. You know what? I think you guys are being misled by hype, and hype got them to the final. I will say it got them this far. Not to say they've been playing horrible. Well, they have been playing horrible football, but generally it got them. They've got this far via talent and hype. And I mean, after that last game, hype. England's media.
I started off this podcast by putting my biases aside, taking off my hat and dabbing you and kind of going, my brother, you had the right predictions. Now you're gonna come and do this as if we don't know England has been running riot.
Not running riot. Right. They've literally been winning 1-0 for the entire tournament. They only started to score goals in the quarterfinals. Come on now.
All I'm saying is we have Calvin Phillips there. You guys want to bring old bones to Catania against Calvin Phillips.
Forza Italia. That's what I'm saying.
No, honestly, I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to this one. I can't wait to message you. I'll try and be as humble as possible. But I will really try and be humble. Let's see. I'll try and not rub it in.
You know what else? I think another thing we always speak about is transfers and stuff, right? And we just spoke about Central. And Central just moved to Man after what is probably the most dragged out big money transfer in the past 2 seasons. I don't understand. Yeah, what's been going on?
I don't understand the tone. I don't understand the tone in your voice. The most you see, Arsenal supporters are all the damn same. I actually tweeted and I said, they won't say it, but low key they are scared for next season.
Of Man United. Did we not beat you guys twice? We beat you guys twice in a season we ended up second.
You beat us once, and then we came to come wipe you guys the next game.
No. Please.
You guys beat us once.
No. Come on now. No. Please. We're not 100% are not scared of Sancho. You know what? The one thing that's interesting with me with Sancho and him moving to Man United, because I was reading an article recently on goal.com, and it was looking at the type of combinations that Sancho could form part of as part of Man U's front three, and looking at the players that they have. And one question that it was really posed in there is that is Man U going to keep Martial because Sancho is there now? And that was only of the thinking that what if Ole decides, you know what, let's develop Greenwood and Rashford down the middle a lot more, as much as they play out wide and all those kind of things. Let's develop them in the midfield, in the middle.
I always love to hear when Arsenal supporters are analyzing Man United football, or when Chelsea supporters are. See, here's the thing, right? Honestly speaking, if I was the coach, I have other priority areas, like I told you before, that for me are more important. But I actually went to go and sit down and I looked at the Sancho thing. If we think about it, to be fair, what Sancho brings to Man United is balance, right? If you look at United right now, we are hectically left side biased. We have Shaw, we have what's his name? We have Shaw, we have Rashford, we have Pogba who plays on that side. Bruno Fernandes, when he scores most of his goals, is drifting in from that left-hand side. So our team right now is so left-hand biased, right? That does not matter who we put there. Sancho definitely amazing just based off the efforts that he has done in the Bundesliga, and like we know that he's been developing. But what he brings to the team is a different outlet.
Yeah.
Like, for example, and like for the longest time I've been saying this, and like it has actually pained me. I love Wan-Bissaka, right? But going forward, he offers us nothing. That guy cannot cross a ball if his life depended on it.
I think your point. I think I was just actually thinking about the point you're gonna make now, that his Sancho almost becomes like a perfect player there, right in front of this. I mean, Bissaka doesn't even have to have that
now. Exactly. We don't have to force Wan-Bissaka to go and attack.
Yeah.
He can do what he does best. Fucking defend for us. That's where we want you.
True.
Then we finally have and like think about it. When was the last time Man United had a proper right winger? Like, and don't even say proper. When last did we have a right winger? Valencia was the last time that we had a right winger, and then we made him a right back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Other than that, we had like really dally guys. We had Januzaj who was trying. We had who was trying.
Januzaj was
nobody really. So like, I think this is the first time we have somebody solid.
Yeah, true. And he's such a young player too. So I think it's just gonna add a lot more into that Man U team. I think also
and think about it, exactly
like thrive because of his assist.
Exactly like the England squad now. Like you need different keys to open different doors.
Yeah.
And like you guys are asking us whether we're gonna keep Martial. Why the hell not? We are Man United. The money is not coming out of my pocket.
I think I asked that because of is he going to want to play second fiddle? Because currently Martial is second fiddle to Cavani. I think that's my case.
Okay, but let's think about it. How did he become second fiddle to Cavani? I love the sentiment, and I love how opposition fans like to create this facade that there's a problem. There's no problem. Martial was always our number one, and then he got injured.
Yeah.
And then we had a choice between Greenwood and Cavani. That's a no-brainer. Cavani becomes our number one. But as soon as it becomes,
we're looking into the new season now. Who starts as number one?
100%. I get that. But like what I'm saying is, as soon as Martial comes back, dude, different teams, you need different players to execute the plan.
But
that's the way it is.
As I hear you 100%. My issue is
Martial will be our number one.
Is
in my mind, let me finish. Let me just finish. I looked at our transfer speculation now. We're not trying to get another striker. We're not. No way did I see.
Hey, you guys are going for
that. We're not trying to get another one. Cavani signed a 2-year contract, right? Which basically is 1 season. It's not like it's 2-year contract, but it's 1 season that runs over the 2 years. So Cavani technically is committed for another year. United is trying to build long term. I don't think we're going to get Kane. Greenwood is way too young for him to become our number one. Do you know what I mean? So like that, in my opinion, is not a question. I think Solskjaer will always try and give Martial the starting, right? I think he'll play Rashford off the left. He'll play Sancho and we'll play Martial through the middle. And every now and then, whenever we need something different, we're going to bring on Cavani. Even if it's a standard thing where we kind of go. And I don't know if you remember that season where Martial and Rashford always used to replace each other.
Yeah.
So even if we get into a situation where Sancho and Greenwood replace each other, and then we have Cavani and Martial replacing each other for those games, I don't see any problem. There's absolutely no problem. I think where my problem is exactly where this whole France conversation that we had. What happens with our 2 6s, our 6 and our 7? So like, for example, what's his name? Fred and McSaucy.
Yeah.
They are not good enough to take us to the promised land. Let me say, to take us to the promised land, they're not good enough. What has to happen now with us getting Sancho is we can no longer put Pogba out to the left. So Pogba is going to start playing as a proper 6 now. So he's going to play for us the way that he plays for France. So the problem for me is, who do we put next to him? We can't put Fred. Fred cannot pass to save his life for the best of times. McTominay is a hard worker, but skill-wise, I'm not seeing him.
Sure, but skill-wise, yeah. But you don't need him to have skill. There's enough skill in front of him. There's Pogba, there's Bruno. You just like attack everything.
I'm talking about on the ball skill.
No.
Passing a ball.
No. He doesn't have to do a lot. Basics. The what got him to the level where he's at. That's it. Everything else, let the other people like do it. Like let Pogba. Yeah, but I still feel you guys will not get the Pogba that you think that's at France. Eh?
Look, like when I look at Man United right now, I have made peace with. I'm happy with Pogba playing and us seeing which Pogba shows up on the day. I'm happy with it, but I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You are saying Pogba's inconsistent. Who is his replacement? Are you telling me Scott McTominay is more inconsistent than Pogba? Are you telling me Fred is more consistent than Pogba?
I mean, that's why. I mean, Man, you are also looking for another central midfielder to cover that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I saw the guy that they linked with Man United.
Edward Camavinga. Apparently, he's like a really good, and apparently he plays just like Pogba from a whatever. But we'll see. Players who come from like League A.
That's my problem. As soon as people start saying he plays exactly like now, if we already have Pogba, why do we need another Pogba?
Need backup.
This is the kind of stuff that I don't need.
No, but you need backup. That's what you're trying to. If you're building long term, and this guy is like how old? 18 or 9?
He's very young. He's very young.
So if he's sitting there, and the way it looks right now, Pogba might stay for another season and like look at Real Madrid as maybe one way to cap off.
I can't wait for Real Madrid to put Pogba on fraud watch. Just watch. He's gonna go. And then they're gonna put him on fraud watch.
I don't think he's gonna do fraud watch there. Nah. I think Pogba has been, and we saw it at Juventus. Pogba has big team temperament. The issue is Man United is no longer a big team. Man United is no longer a big team.
Good question. Do we consider Real Madrid a big team still?
In the context of
No. You see, like I love how your facial when you go and watch this back, right? Just watch your facial reaction to my question. Just watch your facial reaction to my question. That you don't even have to answer the question anymore. When you have to start asking me about in the continent, on Europe, in what? No. Already back in the day, when we used to say Real Madrid, there was not a question. You didn't have to think about it. You said
no,
yes,
but also back in the day they had Galacticos. That was the Galacticos era. Like there are two Galacticos areas, the Beckham era and then the
you can't say anything about it. Honestly, right now.
In that context, which is Barcelona a big team?
They still have Messi, yes.
And I could easily also say Real Madrid also is still a Benzema.
But Benz has never been a thing for me.
I'm not equating the level.
I personally, I'm not speaking for other people. I'm speaking for myself.
You've never rated.
I've never rated Benzema. I would never have taken Benzema. For me, he's so slow in the way that he plays. I don't rate him. That's why I even had to say in the segment earlier that for me, he's impressed me. Because I was with the guys that said Benzema didn't have a place in France. I was with them. So he's impressed me now, but like I've never seen it. For me, Benzema has always been one of those players that has always played with the best players and always shined. Like it's kind of like if I'm in the crew, like wait. If I'm in the crew and the crew is always winning, now I guess people associate me with winning irrespective of my contribution.
You know why a lot of people have been rated Benzema, specifically in the Real Madrid team, and why Benzema started shining in the last 1 or 2 seasons? It's because for his entire career at Real Madrid, and lucky or unlucky for him, he had to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo demands the ball. He's a strike. He's a goal scorer. Let me not call him a striker. Benzema, in that context, Benzema has always had to play second fiddle. He's always had to play out wide, where he's not a wide player.
Why?
What do you mean?
Let's ask the question of why.
What do you mean why?
He's always been Ronaldo better than him.
No, but it's Cristiano
Ronaldo better than him.
No, it's Cristiano. Who is Cristiano Ronaldo not better than? Like, if the person like
even now, like I'm sure there were some games. Like, I'm not really a Real Madrid fan, right? But just based off my cousin's comments for Real Madrid performances lately, or at least the past season, honestly speaking, it sounded like Vinicius Jr. was a better striker than him.
No, way. Vinicius Jr.
I'm just messing with you.
Birdman Jr. Birdman Jr. was better than oh my goodness.
No, like honestly speaking, no man. Let me think of a striker that I would rather have than Benz in my team that we both know.
No.
For me.
For you.
I'm not talking about for you. I'm not talking about for you.
No. You're talking about for the world at this point, because there's no way that we're all looking at Benzema and we're saying Benzema has great hold-up play and he also scores goals, and then you are saying for me.
Look, don't make me go to a dark place. Okay, look, you are literally making me speak really reckless. I'm talking about Benzema who plays for Real Madrid. I'm not talking about the Benzema who I literally just said 2 seconds ago.
Even for Real Madrid got to where they got last year, and they were bad last year. Hazard was injured for majority of the season. Vinicius Jr. couldn't even hit a goal if it was in front of him.
There's no other striker who's going to score the goal, so he had to score them.
Benzema literally.
He had to.
Yes! What's a striker? He's a striker. What's
okay.
If he wasn't scoring, then we'd have a conversation here.
This is what I'm saying. Before last season, when he had everybody around him, when he had the resources around him, he was struggling.
No, he wasn't. He literally wasn't. Come on now, ads.
When you watch those Champions League games and now you're like, Real Madrid needs something.
Yes.
Benzema is the one who's really trying to trap the ball up top. No man.
Yes. Come on now.
Listen. We absolutely veered off topic here. We absolutely veered off topic. We were talking about Sancho.
He's one of the greats. This is why I was like this when you mentioned Carrick, because of this.
No, I'm hurt because of what you said about Carrick, so I can also go fly.
Let's move.
I'm hurt because of what you said about Carrick, so can go fly also.
No. You can't speak ill of Benzema. Yo, El Suego. You can't speak ill of Benzema.
But anyway, I think.
But yeah, Sancho's going to be this season. It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, the fans are back and stuff for the Premier League. I think Sancho's going to shine. He's going to shine, but I feel like it's just going to be such a difficult season, like all around. Like teams are getting better. Well, they look like they're getting better, like all around. And a lot of teams.
Who's getting better?
Chelsea. Look at Chelsea.
But Chelsea last season was cooking, dude. Like, what do you mean they're getting better? Chelsea is cooking.
Second half of the season, they were cooking. I'm saying they're getting better in terms of them as a team.
Now they settling in, coach settling in 100%.
Yeah, now they look like they can do something. Liverpool's going to have a full-strength team now. Although, I must say...
When you say full strength, you mean Van Dijk is back?
Van Henderson is also going to be back, fully fit, not just like trying to back in and out. I think.
Okay, honestly speaking, I'm not trying to be hearing about Liverpool, bro.
No, but let's not act like Van Dijk and Henderson being out.
Leicester City will do the double on Liverpool.
You know what, brother? Every prediction you've had has not ended up in the way that
Won't do that. I said England was going to beat Germany, and where are we now?
Okay, I almost called you a false prophet. But it's okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
But anyway, dude, like honestly speaking, I think what I'm genuinely like, I mean, besides the season that's coming up and us obviously touching on the various transfers and the pieces that are coming in, I really, before we leave, still want us to touch on just like who is Arsenal actually looking to be signing and where you guys actually need some people. But before we get into that one, like I think for me the big thing is, man, the game that's coming up on the weekend, I'm really excited. I think it will be an exciting one, but I don't think it will go quite like any of us expect. I think it's gonna be a bit less of a competition than you guys actually think it's going to be.
It's a final.
Either way, I just think it's going to be less of a competition than both teams are essentially thinking.
Do you think it's going to reach penalties?
No, 90 minutes is going to be done.
Oh no, man! There's a
I'm telling you, after the 70th minute, my prediction is after the 70th minute, I don't think Italy hold on to England anymore.
Nah.
That's my prediction. But like that's just what I think.
Nah, I think Italy know how to fight back, and we saw it against Spain where they literally had no hope. Somebody gave up.
Fine. I understand that. But did England also not fight back? I don't understand what these things that you're talking about. England conceded early against Denmark and fought back. What is this fight back thing that you guys are talking about? Relax.
Who were counting their lucky souls for even getting.
Spain didn't know that they were going to be in the next round. Spain was struggling. They didn't know that they were going to be in the next round.
No. But also Spain was playing really good football. It's just they couldn't put it in the net. That's literally Spain's only issue.
See, like my problem with your definition of good football. Your definition of good football ends people out of the tournament. So
no. My definition of good football.
Playing football, according to you, England are in the final. So
like, no. England are still playing trash football. Oh no, let's not even get it twisted. England are still. You telling me you look at England and you're like, dog. At some point, watching that game, a mate texts like, "This is the most boring game I've watched," and this was just like 20 minutes.
Okay. Let's do this. Since we are both supporting a different team, I think in the spirit of us like literally committing to our teams, the guy who loses sends the other guy a video talking about what he loved about the other team's play at the end of the game. So your team would have lost, and you're gonna send a video to the other guy saying what you loved about the way that they played.
I don't think you're ready for this beat. I don't think you're ready for this beat. I don't think you're ready for this video because my video is
we'll put this video as the starting of the next video that we shoot. So after this, we're gonna start this clip with a video that you have sent me of what you loved about how England demolished Italy.
I'm game. Cool. Sam. I'm coming to Rome.
Okay, guys, like honestly speaking, I think in the comment section, please do put like some predictions there for who you think is going to be sending this video. And like, if you guys have any suggestions for what the video must say, we can definitely put them in there. Like, so that we can make this thing, I guess, embarrassing enough for the guy that was backing his team to the mountain and back.
I don't know why Ads has faith in this team, for goodness gracious. Ads, 2 seconds before we move on to the other thing. I just need to charge this. Yep, before it switches off.
Okay, no stress.
I'll just remove this part later. Oh man.
You need to plug it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, just
okay.
Turn this on.
Sweet man. Like I think now that we've talked so much about Man United and your feelings about Carrick, like I still can't believe that this is you. Like I thought that I was getting into this thing with somebody who knows football, but now you're coming at me with this Carrick nonsense.
No Man United fan formed against me shall prosper. One day we actually have to have a conversation about Paul's goals too, because you guys have a weird understanding as Man U fans. But let's move on. Yeah.
Literally, there will be load shedding now if you continue on the trend. Let's wrap this video off. I think we've really got into this like we normally do, just like chatting and just chatting away. But like I think let's wrap up the video by just really looking at Arsenal, chatting about who you guys are linked with, who's realistic, who's not, because like I think in the grander scheme of things, You guys had like a really horrible season last season, especially if you consider the one thing that you guys held on to was the fact that you guys always qualified for Champions League. Right now, it's looking properly dark. You guys are literally losing out to Leicester and these guys, and it's like really difficult. Who are you guys? What's the direction, boss? What's the direction there?
So the thing is with Arsenal, we firstly, because we're probably the most distressed friends in Europe, we get linked with every single player. We literally get linked with every single player with legs now, right? Let me start at Arsenal's needs, right? Arsenal, and I'll start from the back. Firstly, Arsenal needs a new right back. Hector Bellerin is not it anymore. Like, it was good, but we need a refresh there. We need a backup to Kieran Tierney. Apparently, Arteta thinks we need a new centre back. I don't know, not sure. We need a.
What do you wait before you move on from that one? And like just as you mentioned them, let me just really jump in there. When you say Arteta thinks he needs a new centre back, what do you think? And why does it seem like you don't think you need a centre back?
We don't. If you look at Arsenal last season, Arsenal had top 3 best defenses in the entire Premier League, behind Man City and Chelsea. Looking at that, you'd understand if Arteta was saying, "Look, let's replace who's this guy? Let's replace the guy who just left now, David Luiz. He retired." Or
yeah.
I'd understand, but that replacement would probably be a low money type of replacement. Arteta is looking at buying Ben White for around 50 million from what's his team, from Brighton Hove Albion, right? Now I understand the vision. Ben White, the guy who's actually is in the England squad right now. It's in the England squad right now. Yeah. So I understand why he wants to play him. He's a young player. So I think the thing is with Arsenal, you first have to look at their transfer strategy, right? They want to buy players. They want to buy players that are going to increase in value. Firstly, they focus on homegrown. Ben White is homegrown. He is an English player, and he will most likely increase in value over the years, right? So that's the strategy. Players that will increase in value, because in the past we've had situations where we buy a player but we don't sell that player for a profit, or they go out for free, right? So he's trying to avoid those things. Yeah, so Ben White might be coming in. I heard they just launched like a 3rd bid for Ben White. For cover,
his name is Benjamin White, please.
Ben White. And then as cover for Kieran Tierney, they've got this kid from Portugal, Nuno Tavares, right? He's 21. They were initially looking at like Patrick Van Aanholt and Ryan Bertrand, but they were older, so they're like, we want to make sure Tierney gets challenged at a young age, like by a younger player, but also that player, should that player turn out to be quite good, you sell that player for a profit, right? So they're buying him for 7 million. Eventually, he might be worth at least 14 or something when they decide to sell him, right? Cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah. At right back, Hector Bellerin we need a refresh there. He can't be there. Like I
totally agree with you. I agree with you with Bellerin.
Yeah. So they're looking at a few options. We bring linked with every single player in God's world. At some point we're linked with Ashraf Hakimi, which was like, that's not going to happen. He costs too much. But the closest link that I saw that was like, was Chelik, right? He's a right back for, is it Lille or something? Or yeah, I think it's Lille. I think it's Lille. They recently won Ligue 1. So we've been linked with him, but I still want to see how that's developing, because right now Bellerin is still being linked with the move out to Inter Milan in order to replace Ashraf Hakimi, who just went to PSG now. So yeah, centre back wise, another madness or crazy issue is goalkeeper. So the thing is with us, I think the only we're rebuilding all the
keeper.
Dog. Arteta, they want to replace the goalkeeper. So they've been looking at Andre Onana, Ramsdale, and I forgot the third one now, but they're looking at those keepers. It almost infuriates me.
Just before you continue, is Arteta coming with Pep Guardiola nonsense where he's gonna buy 3-4 goalkeepers in a row? What's going on?
I don't know what's going on with that guy. Hey, like, because for me, I look at Brent Leno and I'm like, Brent Leno's like top 5 in the Premier League.
He's doing a job, 100%. He's
absolutely doing a job. Why would you want to change him or whatever? But I mean, there's clearly like a method to their madness, right? There's clearly a method to their madness. But they want another goalkeeper, right? I think a younger profile goalkeeper. But Brent Leno is like, I'm not leaving. Cool. That's whatever. Goalkeeper, I'm sure Brent Leno won't leave. He hasn't been linked with anyone else. In the midfield, obviously we've got Thomas Partey, but Thomas Partey needs a partner, right? Partey can't just play by himself in there, especially because Xhaka is definitely leaving. After his incredible performances at this Euros, he's definitely leaving for Roma.
Yeah, no, he's going to look for a bigger check, my friend. I'm sorry to say, guys. He's going to look for a bigger check.
I think that the thing is, the reason he was supposed to leave last season, but Arteta was like, "Brad, just give me one season." And I think part of their understanding was like, after this season, I want to go. Don't stand in my way. And Arteta's not against it, and it's cool. We all said about with Xhaka. So from midfielders,
what's happening up front?
No. Let's look at midfielders quickly. Locatelli is being linked. We're recently gonna sign this kid, Lokonga, Albert Lokonga. Love it when African players move to Arsenal. Well, I mean, he's from Belgium, but of African descent. Albert Lokonga is gonna move to Arsenal soon. But I still think we need one.
You guys always looking to buy players that look like they're trying to figure out life.
Wow. Now I think the thing is he's gonna be Thomas Partey's understudy. He's gonna come in for Thomas Partey, but we still need another player in there, right? And then we also still need a number 10 because Odegaard is not coming back. And yes, I know we've got Emil Smith Rowe, but ESR can't carry. He's still too young to carry an entire season by himself at number 10.
100%.
100%. I'm looking at Madison. 16 million. I'm like, guys, go get Madison. He said, come get me. So go get him, please.
Honestly, the same way I know you guys are concerned about us buying Saka. You guys buy Madison, I will look at that and also go, God damn it, this is gonna be difficult for us. 100%. Madison is class. Madison is absolute class.
Definitely need him in there. And then up front, the issue, you know what, up front, a lot of people might look at it and be like, Arsenal don't really need a lot up front. Aubameyang had injuries last season, he's going to come back. Personally, I feel we need we need someone fresher in there also. Right now,
you guys need a right wing.
You know what? Saka is playing at right wing.
All you need. No, look, I think Saka will get like a newfound role. I think
the thing is,
you guys are eventually
Saka can play across the like in front of, like behind the striker. He can play across. Yeah, so he can play across.
That's where I think exactly what Liverpool before Ox got injured, right? The way that they were using Ox. I think that's how you guys might potentially consider using Saka, where you use him as a player to pick up the ball and drive the ball forward. Wing or whatever, somebody who can pick up the ball and drive it forward. How you guys will end up.
If you're putting it like that, then yes, understandably, definitely. I feel like for me, I never worry about where Saka's gonna play because the kid played at left back and he was incredible. So I'm like, does it matter?
He's just here. He's moving.
He's gonna perform. He's gonna perform. But I do think we need something up front, like something. I think Lacazette is reaching towards the end of his stay with Arsenal. He needs a new challenge also. He needs something different, and we need something different. Like
honestly, Lacazette has been more on site than Aubameyang. Like I would think carefully about the words that you guys speak. Honestly speaking, I know Arsenal fans at heart, you guys love Aubameyang, right?
Anyone who is
more concerned about the Arsenal team that has Lacazette in it because Lacazette plays like Inzaghi. he is a finisher of note. He can turn on a swivel and finish a ball. I don't really talk wax lyrical about an Arsenal player, but he's literally scored some goals.
Yeah, he missed so many clear cuts. He missed one goal. The net was open. I switched the TV off immediately. I'm like, I can't do this. They're trying to kill me. Arsenal is trying to kill me.
And you see now, what I love about what you're saying, right? When I look at that Arsenal team, right? Sometimes you guys are struggling, but the only person who looks like he's trying is Lacazette. So whether he's missing or whether he's what, at least he's trying. Have you ever seen Aubameyang on an off game?
Oh yeah, had a lot of off games.
He can't even step on a trap a ball. He can't even trap a ball.
But to be fair, Eds, Arsenal were missing a lot of what Aubameyang needs to thrive. And it also because we changed the way
we never let Ozil go.
Yeah. No. We can't have. The thing is, the way Arteta wants football played, Ozil can't thrive in that because Ozil doesn't track back. Even Aubameyang had to learn to track back.
But Ozil, like literally all Aubameyang needed, for him to start finding form again was Ozil.
Yeah, we know. But also the thing
now you're kind of going, okay, I want to play this philosophy, right? I don't have the players to play this philosophy, but screw the players. We are playing this philosophy. Surely there needs to be a nice little balance where you go, okay, we want to play this philosophy, but we're not there yet.
But
so for us to be competitive right now.
But understand that balance was struck when in the beginning Arteta was like, yeah, guys, let's play 4-3-3. Nah. But then he realized and that was his preferred formation. Then he realized I don't have the players to play a 4-3-3 in the way that I want it played. Let's move to a 3-5-2, right? Then he realizes again, this limits a lot of the other players, right? So we'll switch it around from game to game, depending on who we're facing, how they play, and how we can approach that game. And also who we have available. A lot of injuries happened last season, like across the board from every team, right? So I think Arteta is looking at this season and is like, because we all knew when Arteta came in, this is a long-term project. But like our beef was always like, bruh, how are we always a project? How are every single season we always a project? So when Arteta came in, he was like, guys, we're building something long-term, right? So when he didn't have the players and when he said, I'm not going to put Ozil in the team, we were like, but why aren't you putting Ozil? But then we looked at how the team was playing as a whole when ESR started like playing, right? Emil Smith Rowe tracked back. He used to grab the ball from the back and forward. So the way Arteta wants football played is not necessarily the Arsenal way in the original ball floating around and all that stuff. It's this way of football is very structured because Arsenal never used to have any structure. I mean, our players were a lot more like technical. Santi Cazorla, Rosicki.
Your players were like, you're a midfielder and you're a striker. Go out there and make it work.
And I 100% think that's the motivation Wenger used to give them. Wenger used to give them you know what, go do your best out there. And then they used to, and that's why Arsenal for a long time used to have such a soft belly. Last season, the most impressive thing for me last season was everything else, because I personally feel like goals sort themselves out eventually. But when you're a team that's hard to beat, that is a great foundation to build a winning team for whatever. And we were hard to beat.
Like I honestly think, as soon as you guys added Party to the team,
it became a party.
That guy comes with that African.
Yeah, that's why when I looked at when Pep bought Rodri to Atletico, I was genuinely so confused because I'm like, so Pep looked at this Atletico Madrid midfield and he zoned in on Rodri and did not see Partey. I'm getting vibes here, but it's whatever. Yeah. But yeah,
honestly speaking, like I think it was like absolutely amazing chatting again. Like it always is for us to chat this, especially like with some of the football we have seen. It's always nice to banter. For me, I'm a lot more excited about the Euros ending and ending and then us getting back to normal football. So let's do that.
It's starting next week.
Say again?
Do you realize next week already? I was like, oh, okay, damn, we eat.
I even signed up for Man United TV just so I can watch those preseason games.
Really, me too. I'm already a digital member of Arsenal, so I'm inside. I'm 100% inside too. Yeah.
No, 100%. But this was really good, man, and like I'm really excited to see some of the comments that some of our watchers, viewers, essentially going to be putting in the comment section. So guys, please do in the comment section, and then also up this way, which side?
Subscribe or the
you will just do this. You'll be able to watch our last videos.
Wherever you see it, click it.
You guys can click on those videos and go and watch our last videos.
Yeah, man, I'm actually glad that people are actually enjoying some of the video. I've been seeing like a few comments. Like someone commented today talking about like they enjoyed our discussion around the African Super League. So that's also really dope. Yeah, that's also really dope. But like people are also engaging and stuff. So like guys, let's have this conversation, continue conversation in the comments. Like 100%.
Oh, and like if you haven't seen that African Champions League one, I absolutely thought it was absolute trash that we went to be setting up an African Super League. Essentially, no, listen, we're not doing that. We're absolutely not doing that.
Just watch it. One of it. Just watch the video. In fact, I'll put it in the end card. Like people need to watch that one.